Hey everybody, Goosebumps for Dummies here, and today we are going to be reviewing Terror Trips. This is the second graphic novel in the Goosebumps graphic series, and it is adapting some of the more safe stories it could have done. These are more liked ones, especially One Day Horrorland and Shock Street. Of course, Deep Trouble is kind of the leapiest thing in here, but it has actually garnered a fan base over the years, and I am part of it. I really like Deep Trouble's original story, and all of its sequels, dare I say. This is a clearly vacation-themed entry and follows the typical format with 3 stories done by 3 different artists. Does it fare well against the other 2? Let's find out. And now for the blurb, the kind of lack thereof. On this trip, there's no return. One Day Horrorland is adapted by Jill Thompson, Deep Trouble is adapted by Amy Kim Ganter, and A Shocker on Shock Street is adapted by Jamie Tolagson? I don't know. A bit of a mindfuck there. Yes, this one is, again, very much summer themed, so I guess it's a little late that I'm reviewing this, but better late than never. I mean, I reviewed a camp book in January this year. I don't care when I review stuff anymore. This is the second entry of the series and my second favorite. It literally lands in the middle. I think the series kind of got worse as it went on, but it's still, it's still pretty good. Not quite as good as the first, but pretty on par, I'd say. So yeah, this is a very solid collection here. The most obvious points I can give out are accuracy to the source material. Yes, these follow foot in that. These are very accurate adaptations of the original stories, and thankfully, these are actually really good stories they're adapting here. So, blatantly, I like all 3 of these. If you want my more in-depth thoughts about the stories individually, I have my reviews for them. Not the graphic novel form, I'm doing it here, but the actual original stories. But I love Shocker on Shock Street, I love One Day Horrorland, and I love Deep Trouble. Blatantly, I think these stories are great. Especially Shock Street, that's my personal favorite here. And actually, also, still my personal favorite here in graphic novel form. I really like this one's art style in particular. Shock Street's art is really darn good. It was done by, again, Jamie with the weird last name, and they did a great job. I think it's easily the best artwork here, and though I don't really like the others, so it's not much of a competition, they still sweep, no less. And yeah, I really like this graphic novel, and it's easily, a fun read, nothing terrible. And again, I liked all of the stories in here, but the other 2, they have some art problems. Let's start with Deep Trouble. Deep Trouble's art, it does not represent what you're kind of looking at here. It is actually, kind of not up my alley. This just feels like it's trying to be something it shouldn't. It's like, it's really just not fitting of Goosebumps, and it isn't what I wanted out of that story. It is not a very good art style. But you also have One Day Horrorland. That's where my real complaints of this book comes in, and it's pretty bad, man. One Day Horrorland's art, let me just pull it up here. This is like the most atrocious page in the entire book. You can barely even make out shit up here. It is so hard to navigate the artwork for this one, and I wonder what the hell the editors were thinking when trying to format this, because it is just an absolute piece of mayhem. There's so much going on, it is way too chaotic, and the art style itself just isn't very good. I don't like it personally. But yeah, the paging is just absolutely chaotic throughout the entire story. It is super hard to actually navigate on the page, and I've already said this a million times, I don't really like comics. It's not my personal thing I like picking up reading. I might pick it up every now and then, if it's obviously horror. So yeah, I just don't like those 2 stories' artworks, but other than that, this is pretty solid. Overall, I give the book a 7.5 out of 10. Really like Shock Street, 50-50 in Horrorland. Again, great, fun story, but not great artwork. It's very hard to actually physically read and get through just because of how horribly formatted it is. In Deep Trouble, again, really good story. At least this one's simpler compared to Horrorland, but it's still pretty with the art style. But yeah, I genuinely enjoyed this. I still think it's a very solid read, even if I didn't really like the art for these 2 stories. And I forgot to do it because I'm a dumbass, but here are my individual ratings for each story. I give Horrorland a 6 out of 10. A bit favorable. I give Shock Street a 9 out of 10, and I give Deep Trouble a 7 out of 10. And again, overall, 7.5 for the entire book. And yeah, those are my ratings. Again, these will be ranked individually on my graphics ranking whenever that comes. But we do have one more comic to review, and that is the Sloppy Tales of Horror comic, because it does have a unique story in it, so I do count it as a review. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this book review. Tell me what you think about Terror Trips down below. What was your favorite story out of this one, maybe? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.